Hello everyone, Ms. Doubrley here. Thank you for joining me today. In this week's video tutorial, we're going to be looking at Fundamentals A-Day material for week 4 of the spring term. And just like our previous videos, this will pretty much be like a real class. So we're going to go ahead and start by bowing in. If you'll please join me. Sharyut, Kine. Tenets of Taekwondo begin. Courtesy, humility, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit. Kine. All right, so for this week's video, we are going to be looking at our A-Day material, which is going to be self-defense kata number 1. The open hand strike, we'll be doing that stationary, but we'll also be adding a little bit of movement to that this week. And we'll be looking at the reverse elbow strike. Again, we'll be doing that stationary, but also adding a kind of an interesting twist on how we're going to be doing that. Let's go ahead and start by warming up. All right, so for our warm-up, the first thing we're going to look at is the shift of the wedge guard. This is something we see in our self-defense kata. It's simple, but can also be a little bit tricky. So let's go ahead and look at how that works. So in our kata, we see a switch of our wedge guard from one side to the front to the back. And we're going to go ahead and look at that together. Let's look at how we're doing it first, and then we'll actually practice it. So for right now, you can just watch. Now, whenever you're shifting focus, the first focus you need to shift is your eyes. So you're actually changing first where you're looking. Once you've done that, then you can actually shift your arms. It's a fairly simple sort of thing. So initially, we're looking this direction. Our wedge is here. When I want to look it towards the back, the first thing I do is simply change my eyes. Once I've changed my eyes, I can then change my arms. So if you'll just watch. Looking here, look to the back, switch my wedge. Just that simple. Now, the arm movements are actually really simple if you look at what you're doing. They're here, my bad guy's on this side, then they just switch roles. So the front arm goes down, the back arm goes up. Let's go ahead and try that together. So get into a wedge guard. I've got this one left-sided, so my bad guy's over here. And then let's just switch it. Again. Let's go ahead and add our eyes this time. Still left wedge guard, but I'm actually going to turn my eyes focus first. Go ahead and join me. Let's look, move the arms. Look, move the arms. Look, move the arms. Look, move the arms. Let's smooth it out just a little bit. Go. 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 Good. Just that simple. We'll actually be doing that in self-defense kata number 1 tonight, so you'll get to see how that works kind of in real life as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look now at the reversed elbow strike. Let's get into a nice front stance, good and wide. A little bit of bend in our knees. I am left side forward. We're going to bring up that right arm, about shoulder height, palm facing in, nice tight fist. We're going to grab this, pretty much what we did last week. Make sure you have bend in that knee so that you can actually rotate. Rotating is really important for our elbow strikes. It's important for a lot of the techniques we do, but particularly for this one. So let's get into our rotated position back, and we're going to just come through. And 1. Good. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Again, nice wide front stance. Arm up, palm in, grabbing that fist, rotating. Keep a bend in those knees. And 1. Good. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. Now, we're going to add a little something to this one. Just going to take a look at it here in the warm-up. We'll look a little bit more at it in the actual lesson itself. This is a step-through addition to our reverse elbow strike. For this one, and if you'll just watch right now, we're going to have feet parallel. We're going to bring our right arm up, just like we did a minute ago. I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Again, just like I did. This is going to be my striking arm. I'm going to take the opposite leg and step back. Still a nice wide stance. Now, again, you're just watching. I'm going to step through that back leg and strike. Okay, watch one more time for me. Step back, step through, strike. Looks a little weird, works really well. If you want to, if you're feeling brave, go ahead and join me for this. Again, we're just warming up and kind of getting the body moving. Right arm up, left arm holds, stepping back on the left, stepping through with the back leg and strike. Good. One more time. Step back, step through, strike. Good. Let's switch sides. Parallel legs, left arm up, right arm grabs, right leg steps back, back, through, strike. Good. Let's try it again. Step back, step through, strike. Good. One more time. And again, we're just warming up. This is completely new. Don't feel bad if it doesn't feel quite right. Step back, step through, strike. Good. We're going to look at that more in just a little bit. All right, continuing our warm-up, let's do some foot stomps. It's a good way to warm up. We're going to go left side forward in a wedge guard. For these foot stomps, you're bringing the knee nice and high. You're coming down with your heel. For each count, we're going to do 2 foot stomps. Okay? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. Nice and high. Come down that heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. All right. Last thing we're going to warm up with today is our open hand strikes. Now, for the purpose of warming up, we're just going to do 2 strikes. We'll be in our wedge guard position. Going to be using the palms here, and we'll just do back and front, both open hand strikes. So for each count, we're going to do 2 strikes. Go ahead and get in position. I'm left side forward. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Switch sides. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Nice and warm. Let's go ahead and stretch. And to the other side. Awesome. Hands on the low back, bend it back gently. Not too far. Good. Let's go ahead and get really tall. Tiptoes, stretch those fingers. Now we're mostly going to stick to upper stretches, but let's go ahead and bend over and touch the floor. I think that's nice for the low back. So reach down. Hopefully you'll feel this in your low back and up the back of your legs. Awesome. Go ahead and stand back up. Let's go ahead and do that rotation Mr. Thompson likes. So we're just gently reaching, making sure we're turning here from the middle. And let's take it up towards the ceiling. Good. Let's go ahead and take our right arm out. We're going to pull in gently. Should feel this here in your tricep shoulder area. And switch sides. Awesome. Let's go ahead up and behind. Again, you're sort of pulling down or in gently. You're going to feel it in that same shoulder area. And switch sides. Good. Let's go ahead and link those fingers. Push out, thumbs down. Take that up towards the ceiling. Sure you can hang. Good. Let's go ahead and jump into our lesson for today. So the first thing we're going to look at is self-defense kata number 1. Now this week we're still taking it slow. We're still naming techniques. We're going to go ahead and add the second half of the kata. The nice thing is it's exactly the same as the first. The only thing we're going to be doing is it on the other side. So nothing really new, just sort of repeating what we've already done. Now again, we'll be naming the technique, so please join along with me as we're doing that. We're going to film this a couple of different ways so you can see it from a couple of different perspectives. Hopefully that'll answer any questions you have about exactly what you're doing. But if you do have any questions after you're viewing this, just let us know. Give Mr. Booker an email and we can explain something you don't understand. All right? Now, we're going to start by going front to back here, and then we'll try a side-to-side version. Now, just so you remember, this is a walking kata, so we're going to begin with 3 steps, and after that we'll be naming techniques. Again, please join me these first few times while we're naming them. Let's get into our beginning stance, and begin. Jack Benny stance, wedge guard, foot stomp, foot stomp, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, clench, pull in, knee, 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 push off, wedge guard, shuffle step, shuffle step. Now, this is where we're going to add our new material. Just follow along as best you can. We're going to start here with that shift of our wedge guard, which first means we're going to shift where we're looking. So please face the back. Shift your wedge guard next. This is a wedge guard. Foot stomp, foot stomp. Elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, clench, pull in, knee, 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 push off, wedge guard, shuffle step, shuffle step. And we'll return back to the beginning. Sharyu Kine. So as you probably noticed, it's the same things we do on the front side that we do in the back side. There's just that shift of focus in the middle. Again, don't let it trip you up. All you need to do is turn your eyes to that direction and then simply shift that wedge guard. Let's go ahead and try that again. This time we're going to be going side to side, but everything we're doing is exactly the same, and our focus here again is on naming techniques. All right? Into your beginning stance, and begin. Jack Benny stance, wedge guard, foot stomp, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, clench, pull in, knee, 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 push off, wedge guard, shuffle step, shuffle step. Change our focus. Wedge guard, foot stomp, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, elbow strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, palm heel strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, open hand strike, backhand strike, clench, pull in, knee, 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 push off, wedge guard, shuffle step, and then back to the beginning. All right, let's go ahead and try this one more time. This time, I'm not going to say the name of the techniques. I'd like you to do that. If any of them trip you up or you can't remember, that's okay. Great thing about video is you can just go back and watch it again. Just do your best. Doesn't have to be perfect. But I'll be quiet. At home, you name the techniques. Begin. And back to ready. Good job. Again, any questions on that one? Go back and watch it again, or feel free to send those to Mr. Booker and we'll be happy to address them in our next video. All right, so let's move on to our second technique for tonight, the open hand strike. Now, we're going to start stationary with this, and then we'll add a partner afterwards. We're going to kind of have a fun variation on this for you guys this evening. Let's go ahead and get into our wedge guard. Left side forward. Again, for open hand strikes, we'll be hitting with the palms here. We're going to be doing 4 of these. We'll be starting with the back and going 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go ahead and try that. Get in position for me. For each count, there'll be 4 strikes. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. 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 Good. Let's go ahead and go to the other side. Get into that nice wedge. 4 strikes for each count. Go. 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 Good. Now, if you have a partner available to help you, you can go ahead and bring them in. We're going to start by doing this on a clapper target. If you have that available to use, great. If you're improvising, that's okay too. Coming up, Miss Doubrley. Now, again, we're going to start here with the clapper target. If you don't have someone available to help you, just continue practicing in the air. That's completely okay. All right, let's get into our wedge guard. Going to be left side forward to begin with. And make sure my distancing is correct. Good. For each count, there's going to be 4 strikes. And go. 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 Good. Now, you also want to make sure you got a little bend in your knees to get that rotation. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Now, Ms. Doubrley is going to move so that you can actually see what we're doing. If you have a partner you're working with, they don't actually need to move. You can just switch the side you're doing. Let's get into that wedge guard. Should be right side forward now. Check my distancing. You can always have your partner move the target up, down. They can step back or closer as you need them to. Go! 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 Good, very nice. Now we're going to add a little something to this today. And initially, I just would like you to watch. Do you have our insole, Miss Doubrley? Thanks. We're going to try this with an insole. Now, this is basically the same as if you're using a clapper target. It's a little bit smaller, which means you're going to have really good accuracy. It's actually a good way to build accuracy. You'd be in the same position doing the exact same thing. I might suggest backing off your power just a little bit for this one. For a couple of reasons. You want to make sure your partner stays safe because it's a small target, and it might not be quite as durable as our clapper target, although it's more durable than you'd think. All right, so you'll be here and go. Let's try that again. Go. Okay, that time was good. Go. All right. Thank you, Doubrley. Actually works really well. I don't know if it makes quite as fun of a sound as the paper that we used last week, but feel free to use the paper if you've got that handy. Now, another thing we're going to add this week to the open hand strike is a little bit of movement. Come on in, Miss Doubrley. For right now, I'd just like you guys to watch. And once you've watched us do this, we're going to have you join in. What we're going to do is have the student, of course, in a spot. And we're going to have our bad guy, our partner, circling around. Now, I'm not going to need to move where I'm at. I'm going to use a pivot. So as she moves around me, I don't have to really step anywhere. And you won't either. It doesn't take a lot of space. She is going to circle, and then occasionally she's going to bring the target up, and then I'm going to do those 4 open hand strikes. So let's see how this works. Miss Doubrley, if you'll move around in a circle. And then, of course, follow her with my wedge. Coming back to my wedge after my 4 strikes. Good. That'll do for now, Miss Doubrley. Thank you. That's what it's going to look like. Again, you don't need a lot of space. You will want to carefully find out where you need to put your partner. That's going to vary a little bit based on what you're using as your target. Of course, also based on your reach and your partner's reach. So before you kind of go full force with this, you'll actually want to kind of figure out what that distancing is. But then you can go ahead and give it a try. So we're going to go ahead and try this again. And if you have a partner that you're working with, please go ahead and join us. Now, if you'd like to ask for the attack, that's fine. Then you'll know when it's coming. So you can just tell them, go, and they can bring the target up. If you're more comfortable with just letting them do it themselves, that's okay too. Whatever you and your partner both feel comfortable with. Miss Doubrley, come back and let's try this a couple more times. I'm going to get into position. Miss Doubrley can help, see, we can get our distancing up, and then she'll bring it up when she's ready. I'm going to let her decide. And go. Make sure you keep that wedge up. And come back to your wedge each time. Good. Now, just a moment, Miss Doubrley. I'd like us to go ahead and switch the wedge guard we're using. Whichever side you've been using, go ahead and do the other. Doesn't change anything for your partner, but it lets you work both sides. So I'm going to go right side forward now. Otherwise, it's the same technique. When you're ready, Miss Doubrley. Good job. Thank you. So, a lot of fun. You want to do it more, feel free to rewind, go back and do it all over again. Now again, if you don't have a partner, that's okay. Use your imagination, practice in the air. It still gives you a chance to really work those techniques. And that'll be just fine for now. All right, that was our open hand strike. The last thing we're going to look at today is our reverse elbow strike. So we're going to start with this stationary. So go ahead and get into that lovely front stance, nice and wide. And I'm starting left side forward. Like we did last week, we're going to go ahead and begin with using our palm. Then we're going to add on the shield. Then we're going to work on that step through. So for now, just get into your front stance. We're going to bring that right arm up, about shoulder height, nice tight fist, palm facing in. We're going to use this other hand in pretty much a palm heel, sort of as our target here. Gives us something to hit. Lets us imagine what we're actually doing with that strike. So we're going to leave that one out. We're going to go ahead and bend those knees slightly so that we can rotate. Go ahead and take that arm. Let's rotate our whole body back. And if you'll just watch this first time, what we're going to do is come through just like that. Now, you'll probably feel this a little bit, but you guys are tough. I know you can handle it. All right. Let's go ahead and set up. Got that right arm back, left arm out. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Let's go ahead and try the same thing on the other side. Nice wide front stance. Arm up. Right arm out with our palm. Nice bend in the knees. We're going to rotate back. And 1. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. This is actually harder than you think. Linking one body part to another. I believe that's called proprioception. Look that up. It's actually pretty tough to do. It's good practice. So we can do that in the air just like we're doing. If you have someone available to help you, you can go ahead and get a shield right now and have them hop up with you or a couch cushion if that's what they have. Ms. Doubrley, if you'll come on up, we're going to work this stationary version with an actual target. All right, I'm going to go left side forward. Now, for setting up for this one, I like to have the shield a little off to the side. So I'm not right in front of it, actually over a little bit. Going to bring that elbow up. Got it palm in. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other arm because I don't need to use my hand this time. I'm going to check my distance because for this one we're not stepping, we're just doing a stationary. I've got nice bent knees. We're going to rotate in. So go ahead and get set up yourself. All right, and go ahead and join me. And 1. Good. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. Let's go ahead and try the other side. Now again, Ms. Doubrley's just moving so that you guys can see. You don't have to have your partner move. I'm going to set up here off to the side. Nice. Good front stance. Arm up. Going to grab with the other. First thing I'm going to do is check my distance. I would suggest you do the same. All right, if you're set up, let's go ahead and try a few. Make sure those knees are bent so you can rotate. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very nice. Thank you, Ms. Doubrley. Make sure to thank your partner for this one. This one can be a little bit tough. All right, we're going to let our partner set aside for just a moment while we practice this step through again. Once we've practiced, we'll have them step back up. But I think this is one that's a little bit complicated, so we want to make sure we practice first. All right, this is going to be our step through reverse elbow. We're going to go ahead and start in a parallel stance. Let's go right arm up first. Palm facing in, a nice tight fist. We're still going to go ahead and grab with that other hand, okay? We're going to now step back with the opposite leg of our striking arm. So that's going to be our left leg here. So go ahead and set up in this position. Good. Step back with that left leg. Good. Still this arm here we're going to be striking with. Now, let's go ahead and step through together. So step. Now strike. Okay? Let's try that again. Parallel stance. Right arm up. Left arm holding. Stepping back on our left side. Now we're going to step through that back leg. Strike. Good. One more time on that side. Grab, step back, step through, strike. Good. Now eventually this is going to be a little bit smoother. Right now just watch. So I'm here, I'm going to step back, and in one smooth motion I'm going to... So that's what we're aiming for, but you don't have to be there today. You can take it nice and slow today. Let's practice the other side, then we'll bring our partner in. Parallel stance. This time we're going to bring our left arm up, grab with the other. So we'll be stepping back on the right. Step through, strike. Good, let's try this again. step through, strike. I think this will make a little bit more sense with your partner. So if you have somebody able to help you, go ahead and bring them up. Let's start really hop on up here. We're still going to be using our kicking shield or couch cushion if that's what you have. All right, so the setup on this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm still going to be slightly off to the side, but I'm going to start with my striking arm against the shield. That's the arm that you're actually going to use to hit the shield. So it's going to be up, palm facing in. I'm going to grab it just like I've been doing. Now I'm going to step back with the opposite leg. Still in a nice front stance, just sideways. I'm going to step through. Sets me up beautifully. All I have to do is really strike. Just like that. Let's go ahead and try that again. Right arm's touching the shield. Stepping back on the left. Step through, strike. If you haven't already joined me, let's go ahead and do that right now. Again, right arm touching, other arm holding, step back, step through the back leg, strike. A little weird, pretty cool though. All right, let's try the other side, Miss Doubrley. Again, we're going to switch so that you can see. You just need to switch sides. All right. Parallel stance. I'm going to take that left arm and touch the shield. Holding my fist with the other arm. I'm going to step back with my opposite leg. Step through and strike. Let's try it again. Go ahead and get yourself set up. Parallel stance. Touching the shield. Step back with your opposite leg. Step through. Strike. One more time. Parallel stance, touching the shield, step back, step through, strike. Nice. Thank you, Ms. Doubrley. That's challenging, but don't let that stop you. Just takes practice. Again, if you have questions on this, feel free to email Mr. Booker, and we're happy to address those in our next video. So today we got to look at self-defense kata number 1, adding the second half. We got to do the open hand strike and add a little movement to that. Kind of a cool technique to do. And we got to look at that step through with the reverse elbow. I think that's a lot of fun. It gives you a lot more power as well. All really good things. So make sure you watch this video and practice these techniques a couple of times this week. You don't have to do it just once. Do it 2, 3 is even better. More practice you get, the better you're going to be at these techniques. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Let's go ahead and do our official bow out. If you'll go ahead and join me. Sharyut Kine. Student oath begin. I pledge to be a champion of freedom and justice. I pledge to observe the tenets of Taekwondo. I pledge to respect my instructors and my fellow students. I pledge never to misuse Taekwondo. I pledge to build a more peaceful world. Kine. Thank you guys for being here today. Please, please, please make sure you practice this a couple of times a week. Have fun, be safe. We'll see you next time.